So now we'll understand the switch case. So switch case is very useful and interesting control structure in C language. So it is apparently looks same as the LCF ladder, but it is very useful in some sort of situations. Let's go and find out when it is useful and what it is. So switch case is like check for the match and execute a block. Right? It is like switching between the multiple values. So first we'll go and match a given value with the defined value. If the match is there, then we'll execute a block of code. So the switch case is like check for the match and execute a block. So we give a value to a variable to match with the existing values. The switch statement tests the value of a given variable against the list of existing case values. So we'll understand it better in the examples. When a match is found, a block of statements associated with that case is executed. So here is the syntax and structure of switch case. So switch is a keyword. You must have that word as it is in the lower case, followed by the variable inside a parenthesis. And when we open the switch structure, so we put the keyword case followed by a value, a constant value, which may be a character or an integer. Okay, and we'll put the colon, the symbol colon, followed by one or more statements which are going to be executed when the variable matches with the value 1. So all these statements are ended using the semicolon. All these statements are ended by a semicolon. At last, after all the statements, we'll put a break. So break is a keyword which stops the execution for this particular block and skip the entire code, and it brings the control out of the switch structure, right? So if the value 1 is not matched, when the value 1 is not matched with the variable given, then we go and check for the match with the value number 2. So same thing happens here. If the match is found, if the variable is same as value 2, then one or more statements given here are executed, and when the control encounters the break statement, it skips all the other statements and comes out of the switch structure. So if the match is not found, it go and find out the match in the next case value. So same thing happens. If none of the values are matched up with the variables, then a default set of statements are put below all the other case values, and this is going to be executed definitely and for sure when no match is found in the above. So this is how the switch structure looks like. Now let's go and do some programs on switch case and we'll understand it better. So friends, to demonstrate the switch case structure, I'll be writing the program that checks the given number and tells you back what the number that was. Assume that you have entered 1, so it should tell it is 1. Or if you have entered 2, it should tell it is 2. So it will be a simple one just to understand. For that I'll just need a single variable n. So here I'll tell the user to enter a number between 1 and 4, right? So I'll tell enter a number between 1 and 4. And now I'll start the switch structure. So first write the switch keyword with a pair of brackets having the variable inside which we are going to use to check with the various switch cases, right? So inside this block, this is the switch block, right? Now start writing the case values. Case number 1. So if the input value is 1, if we are checking the input value with 1, case 1 will be like this. So 1 is the case value. Here the case value lies. So this will be matched. So n will be matched with the 1, right? If it is true, put a colon and start writing the block of any number of statements which will be executed when the match is found. Right, I'll just enter single printf statement. It is 1. Right, and I will put the break statement here, case 2. It is 2. So like this, I'll be having different case values, and I'm going to check the inputted number which is stored in n with all these case values. Whenever the match is found, a particular block of code associated with that case will be executed and breaks the execution at that point and skip the entire upcoming cases. Right? Say suppose I've stored 2 in the variable n, so n will be matched up with the case 1. So 2 is not matching with 1, so this is skipped. 2 here, yes, 2 is match found here. So for match 2, so match for 2 is found here, so this will be executed, and compiler encounters the break statement, so the entire code after the break will be skipped and the control goes to the code which is outside the block. Right, so in the default we will put the message, or we will put the code which will be executed when none of the above statements is true, or none of the above statements are executed. Right, so I'll say not a valid number. Right, break. So this is the structure of if. So this is how it looks. Let's run this program and check. So here it is asking me enter a number between 1 and 4. Okay, it is 3. That's fine. It is 1. So let's say 7. Not a valid number. Right, so I have to input a number between 1 and 4 because I have just 4 cases to check here. Right, the default will be executed when no case is matched with the inputted number. Right, so this is how it works. So we can do many more programs where you have to match the input value with the predefined value and execute a set of statements. So break is a keyword we have used many times in switch statements, right? So we normally use this break statement in switch structure. We can also use this in if else if ladder, but normally break is useful when we want to stop the execution and skip the code followed by it. So this is normally useful in looping statements, which will be covered in the later classes. So it is a keyword that breaks out of the code block. In this case, break prevents the program execution. In this case, break prevents the program executing the code in all the other case statements. So when we use this break statement in the switch case structure, it prevents the program executing the code in all the other case statements which are followed that break statement. An important thing to note about switch statement is that case values may only be constant integral expressions. They must be integers or characters.